Okay. Hey, everybody. We are just sorting out and making sure that all of our streams are working here, and we are live pretty much everywhere. All right, so welcome everybody. So for anybody that's joining in or that is planning on joining in, today we're going to be doing a full workshop of how basically over the last year, especially the last year, as soon as custom GTPs became like a real thing, um, my life has significantly got easier. I pretty much have a small, what I consider a marketing team that basically does a lot of the core marketing functions, or at least starts them for me to make my job a little bit easier. Everything from writing words on a page to helping me start ads to write landing pages, emails, text messages, whatever it is. And I got to be honest, the best way that I've learned to do that is I make a small army of bots. Now, today I'm going to go over just a kind of quick little overview of where we are right now with the actual whole thing about like the chatbots and everything else of where we are. And more importantly, we're going to talk about custom GTPs, Claude, OpenAI, Gemini, and the three little differences. Today, we're going to be mostly building in ChatGPT, but I will probably be doing it in another workshop, like how we use Claude and then how we also use Gemini. But I want to strictly focus this to ChatGPT because ChatGPT allows us to create what I call like little agents, and at least that's what I call them because that's how I leverage and use them, but they're usually custom GTPs. And today we're going to show you how to create a bunch of those that do different things. And then basically how to, when you log into your custom GTPs, that they're always on the left-hand side. And basically you just go in and pick the ones you want in order for you to leverage and kind of build them out, right? So first and foremost, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to just talk about these really quickly, right? So if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what ChatGPT is, then honestly, I have very little hope for you because at this point in time, it is literally the talk of every AI that's out there. But there is ChatGPT, there is Claude, there is Gemini, there is Perplexity, which is a combination of all of them. There's Facebook Lambda, like there's literally so many of them, and they all really are pretty good. I mean, there's a few that really stand out, but when it comes to functionality and just making it really easy to use, these are the three. ChatGPT, which is OpenAI, that's the business that's the company that created it. Claude, which is Anthropic, that's the company that created them. And then Gemini, which is owned by Google, are the three most easily and accessible versions of a LLM, which is a long language model. I don't even know what it is, but we can literally look it up. It's like, what's LLM mean? And again, these how these bots work. They answer questions just like Google does, except they give you probably a large language model. See, I basically just wrote LLM with no anything else, and immediately the system knew what it was, right? So, and that's how these things work. Think it as a very advanced Google. But the cool part about this is, and where a lot of people mess up on is that one, they're just not leveraging it the right way, right? And this is again, this is all theory. Now you have all of a sudden you have like 1,000 experts on AI, in a matter of a year, pop up everywhere telling you that they can do this and that. Look, I'm not claiming I'm an expert in any of this sense, but I use these on a daily basis. A lot of the things that I've created are being used like 400 users, 1,000 users, 100 users. So am I claiming myself as an expert? I'll never do that, but I am pretty well rounded in the fact that we've had a lot of working examples of these things happening. But I will tell you that the large language models for the normal user, the normal human being that doesn't understand coding, we are at like the bare minimum of understanding what the system can do, while somebody who actually codes in Python or in JavaScript and is actually a coder will be able to tap into some of these things at a much higher level. But the common user can have so many benefits if you learn how to use it the right way. Now, based on my personal experience, a lot of people like to combine these bots and make these massive bots like that do all these different things. I don't believe in that methodology. I believe that a bot should be very standard to doing its one thing so it can learn on doing that one thing over and over and over again so it can become an expert in that thing. This thing is learning based on what it believes the next thing is going to be. So a large language model, all it means is this: it is predicting the next word or the next sequence that it believes should follow on whatever it is that it's doing. So for instance, if it's writing a speech, it will analyze a gazillion speeches that it has access to or has had access to. And when you start writing or talking about what you want to write about, it will then take all that information and predict word after word, literally in micro milliseconds. You wouldn't even be able to like think at this pace. Well, possibly would, but regardless of which, it would just happen so fast that you wouldn't even realize what's happening. And that's all it's doing. All it's doing is literally, see, it predicted that I meant large language model. That's what it did. I literally put a word in and it automatically predicted. So that's how these things work. And they're getting smarter and smarter. That's how they're doing math. Some of these, Claude, for instance, has passed the bar at a 72% like passing rate. It passed the actual physical bar for becoming a lawyer because based on the knowledge that it had. And again, it's doing coding. ChatGPT is also doing coding. It also has some tests that it passed and everything else. And there's a lot of things you can do here, right? But for anybody that's ever followed me or watched me, I'm a big person on taking action. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to first understand the way the bot works, right? So we just talked about it now. The bot works on basically predicting what it believes it's going to be the next thing in the sequence of whether it's a speech, whether it's a video, whether it's an image, whatever it might be, it is trying to predict the outcome. And it does it at such a very high level that it's incredibly smart, right? And here's the crazy, crazy thing about this. When this gets an update, it updates in the like macroly. And what I mean by that is it's not a little tiny update. It happens in the millions of segments, meaning it will go from being a little bit smarter to a lot smarter in a very, very quickly. That's why if you guys look at everything that's happening right now in the tech space, what's happening with these LLMs is they're learning at like a hockey puck. It's not like these little gradual learnings. It's literally this weird, crazy hockey puck of how smart these things are getting. So getting in on this now and fully understanding how to get the core basics down will always help you later on down the line, right? But the proper way to do this, and again, there's a lot of different ways to skin this cat. I'm just going by what I believe is the best methodology based on the things that I've developed and worked and that are working currently now and the results I'm getting from the bots. We're going to build bots based on the instruction set that I believe is working properly. Now, again, not knocking anybody that's out there and the way they formulate the bots, but basically it's this. The more you give the bot and the clearer you are in your instructions, the better the result you're going to get back. Doesn't matter which system you use, whether you're using ChatGPT, whether you're using Claude, whether you're using Gemini. Now, the bots are getting smarter in where you need a lot less information to get a good result, but you will always get a better result the clearer the definition and the results are, right? So common instructions are you give the bot what the task is, right? So it's always starting with a task. Like what's the task and what's the role it's going to play? Some people do the role first and then task. You can do it whichever way you want. So in our case, we usually do the role followed by the task, followed by anything that is very particular to the task, and then followed by what an example if I have it. The more examples I give the bot that of something that I want, the clearer the result is going to be. And that's like clearly important. So for instance, if I wanted to write my website and I give it some, your role is, right? Let's just give it an example. Your role is you're a website copywriter, all right? And then I hit, that's the role. The task is you are going to be writing a website for a chiropractor. Now, comma, I say, here are some examples of websites I like. And I maybe put like one or two links. And then please make sure another like kind of like adding to it after I give them the examples, please make sure that you are mentioning my name and my thing and blah, blah, blah. And now I start giving it a little bit of like descriptions on the task. The clearer you are when you're designing these things, the more inaccurate this thing will be. And later on, you take those things and you can actually make what I call, well, these are custom GTPs. These are GTPs that you are making that are going to go on the left-hand side that once you create, these are ones you can consistently access that have very specific tasks. So for instance, once I kind of clearly give it a role, I give it examples of things. I give it instructions of how I want things to be. What I will tend to do is if I like the way the bot is responding and working, I will make it a custom GTP and I'll make it one of my assistants. And then I just lever the assistants to do the thing that I need it to do as we're going through. And then what you're going to learn today is I daisy chain the assistants, meaning because one of my assistants, let's say, is the website copywriter, the other one is going to write my emails, and the other one's going to write my ads. Those are three different bots. The way I do it is I write the website first, right? If this is in this example, after I write the website first, I immediately have it connect and literally say, okay, great. Now that you write my website, let's go call the email copywriter and let them write all my emails. Then when it's done, I call my Facebook ads person that is now, or Facebook ads bot, that is now going to write the ad. And what I don't have to do is I don't have to write anything extra additional because all these things are programmed and I'm daisy chaining one after the other. You can do it in a very easy way, like live, like we're about to do today, or you can actually do it where you do this all through like a Zapier automation or a Make automation, and where one connects to the other, and you literally hit a button and the darn thing goes off. And you could do it where somebody fills out a form and it goes to Make or it goes to Zapier. These are platforms that connect different softwares, and they help you do these things if you're a non-coder. And then what you can do is literally by filling out one form, you'll get a full result, like emailed to you, put in a Google Sheet, however you want to do it, right? So just different ways for you guys to think about it and do these things, but just understand there is massive possibilities of what you can do here. So without like further ado, right? Let's just kind of talk about the structure of like how we start the bot, right? So first is role. All right. So if you guys want to write this down, this is the time where you want to write this down. Second is task. Third is examples. And then I call it specifics, right? We'll just call it specifics of the tasks. So I can't spell specifics, but that's what a ChatGPT is for. It helps people that are horrible spellers like myself kind of do it. And I'm going to try it again. Specific. I before C, no. Yeah, exactly. Like role specific. So literally I hit enter and honestly it like went ahead and did it. But this is honestly the way to go about doing it. So let's take our first example, right? We're going to just think about, we're going to design a website for a dog grooming business, right? So I'm going to say, you are a web designer. Well, we'll say a web copywriter, a website copywriter that specializes, and I'm going to say specializes again because I want to make sure that this person is only going to do this, specializes. And again, spelling, you don't have to necessarily worry about it because it's smart enough where it's going to anticipate that. That specializes in writing direct, direct, excuse me about that, direct response copy for websites. All right. So I'm getting a very distinct role, and the direct response copy is almost giving it like a style. All right. I'm giving it a little bit of a style or a, a way that I want them to write the page, right? There could be direct response. There's different methods. I mean, I can't list all the methods, but literally if you wanted to look up what are the different writing styles for websites, there's value ones, there's there's all different kinds that you can have in here, but you can kind of like already start, like, I want you to write in this kind of way, right? Now it says, right, if I can give it the task, you will be writing a website copy for, and copies just means words on the page for anybody that doesn't know what copy is. Website copy for a dog grooming business. All right. And I might want to get a little specific here, dog grooming business. And I could say something like named wash paws. I mean, I literally have no idea. Wash paws. And then it's like located in uh, Salt Lake City. Don't know what that is, but that would be awesome. All right. Now, I don't have any examples. This is where it's cool. Just go to Google. All right. And you're just going to type in dog grooming. All right. We'll just say dog grooming. Cool. The dog grooming, I'm just like, look, I'm gonna just try to find somebody that has a pretty decent site. Look, pretty cool. Pick it on demand and groom it. Oh, this is a great site. Beautiful. I love this site. I'm just gonna take the URL and I'm gonna paste it. Please take some inspiration from this site. And I'm gonna put a little semicolon. That's the way I like to separate it. Now, ChatGPT will read websites, depending on the website. Claude is not able to read websites. So just something to keep in mind if you're using either or. That's why we're going to mostly focus on ChatGPT. This is probably going to change over the next few months with Claude, but for instance, there it is, right? And I just literally picked the first game type because I want to keep the style. Now, here's where you can get specific. Now I can do a bunch of things here. I could give it a personality. You write in the personality using some comedy. You keep it light, keep it serious and professional. You could start giving it things that are going to be very specific to the type of sites or the type of agent that you want to work. This is great if you're writing like a newsletter. I create column lists. I don't know about you guys. I'm probably going to date myself. Back in the day, when you opened up a newspaper, yeah, I hope people know what those things are still. You opened up a newspaper. When you looked at the newspaper, there were different columns. Every column was different, was written by a different writer. People would hire these writers based on their writing style, how they wrote, what they were experts in, and everything else. Well, when we get into the like creating a newsletter, I can create 4 different column lists that are going to write the different sections in my email newsletter. And I can give them each a personality, each a specific topic that they write in on, and I can access them. And I'm going to show you how to daisy chain them so they can create a pretty awesome newsletter. Now, for this, when you're a website copywriter, again, I can be specific here. And since we're doing this from scratch, we're not building the bot yet. I'm going to show you how to build the bots in a little while. What's wild about it is you can do all this and make it super easy for you to understand. But if I'm like in a jam, right? I get a customer that says, "Hey, I need a website, and I need the words on the website," and the person's like, "I don't know what to write on there." Okay, great. Well, let me do something really quickly. This is how I can do it quickly. You can go in there. You don't need a bot. You can just literally type it in. Role, task, example, specifics. Right. So now I'm going to say, I would like some light comedy along with putting our buy one, get one free offer for any service the customer buys. All right. We offer grooming. I literally know nothing about the business. We offer grooming, nail cutting, and I don't know what else do we do at the dog. And we'll say I literally I think my dog once got her nails painted and nail painting. My wife is crazy. All right, so there we go. And then I'm gonna just state I want this to be in a direct response format because I want people to convert to actual paying customers. Now, see, here's the thing. One thing that you sometimes want to do right after the word specific, right? So you got the role, the task, the examples, and the specifics. Add another little comma, add the goal. Add the goal of what you want for whatever it is that you're trying to do. I want to write. So for instance, if we were going to do this about Facebook ads, right? You are a Facebook ads copywriter. I want you to create Facebook ads for the following business. When writing the Facebook ads, use direct response copy and also try to keep it light and humorous or try to be serious or because if it's a serious like medical problem or whatever it is. So you can do all this And you can do it very simply, but that's the way you want to do it. Now, if I say, I want to give it a goal, and I could give it some ad examples. By the way, with Facebook ads, if you guys find winning ads, by all means, go in there and go bananas. Like, go find ads you like, copy and paste them, and copy and paste them in there. If they have the voice to mimic the things that you want, and just say, here are some examples of the things that I like, and literally state that, right? And have the goal of, I want this ad to convert to this, or I want the ads to convert to that. It works a little bit wonders because now you're giving the bot the goal, so it's now working to a goal. All right. And the best results that you get from bots is when you start having conversations with the bot. Most people get the response and they keep giving it orders, keep saying, like, well, what do you think? I don't think this sounds right. Can you give it another go? You have a lot better response because then it's trying to predict what you want. Again, different styles of doing it, but you can do it this way. I'm giving you the best and easiest way to do all this. All right, now I'm going to come in here. I spelled some things wrong. It's completely okay. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. Now it's going to update the memory, and now it's going to start writing this all out. With very little, buy one, get one free. You read that right. Your dog gets the royal treatment. You get twice the service for half the price. This is pretty good. Whether it's grooming with a stylish cut or a trendy nail painting, our buy one, get one free offer. The offer's on point. It's selected first. I love it. And ready to pamper your pooch like a top dog because they are. You know what I'm saying? It's cute. It's got like some cool things in there. It's got the services all listed, and it gave very little. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to give it a whole bunch of information to do that. That's how smart these things are. Now, here's the cool thing, right? You saw one bot give the same performance. Get this. If I now go into any other bot, now remember, Claude can't read sites. That's the caveat, right? So with Claude, I'm going to go to Claude. Again, I'm not going to go into the details of Claude, but I just wanted to show you. If I give it the same example, Claude writes a little bit better. Okay, here we go. Keep going. It will anticipate what might be on that site. It can't read websites. At least last time I checked, it couldn't. And now it's going to draft the response. And then I'm going to go to Gemini, which is Google's version. I'm going to do the same thing. You're going to notice that they all have similar to a little bit of different responses, but they're all going to be on point. Look at this. Where scrappy pups become sparkling superstars. This is Gemini. This is by far, I always think that it's one of the semi-okay ones. Notice that it's a little bit more bullet pointy. It's not as engaging in the copy. Our experience carrying groomers, it's like, meh, it's okay. Claude, look, call to action. It's a little bit better, but you can toy around with it. Now, remember, because Claude couldn't see the example, it doesn't know what to do as much as we gave to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT can write sites. So you can play with them. You can go back and forth and everything else. I can go back and say, this is meh. I can literally put, this is meh. Like, it actually will recognize what I'm saying here. Let's make it a little funnier and push people to buy our services. Again, simple things, guys. Simple things, guys. Boom. Your dog's bad day here now becomes a distant memory. That's pretty funny. You know what I'm saying? Our doggone services, like, yeah. So now it's getting a little funnier. I can go back with it and everything else. Super simple, everybody. It's not going to be anything that's going to be super insane. But if I was in a jam and I needed to create it, here's where you go. Here's the thing that happens with, like, I would say 95% of the users. This is how they use ChatGPT. They come in here, they're like, I just need to answer this or do that. And then what happens is, next time you have a bot, you're going to have to go into the same process again because you don't have the instructions all there. That's where custom GTPs roll in, right? So here's where things get a little fun, right? If we come in here, all right, great. I got instructions of the bot and everything else. It kind of makes sense. I could say, okay, well, this is good. This is a good start. I'm in a jam. I now know how to work custom GTPs. I'm now all of a sudden a copywriter, an ads manager, anything that I want to be. Well, but now let's get a little creative. Let's create an army of bots that will do a lot of this writing for me, right? So If you have a paid version, and it has to be only a paid version of ChatGPT, you will have the options where it says explore GPTs. Now, I am dyslexic. I will switch T and P's all quite often on this this forewarning. I know what it is. It just my brain sometimes doesn't function that well. So what I'll do next is I'll come into explore GTPs, and here's where it gets fun. Now, there's already people that are doing this on a daily basis. And I can tell you, once you start getting into this world, it's a lot of fun because not only are there ones that you can do in here that you can use in conjunction to yours, and you can daisy chain some of the ones that are already pre-created. You can also create as many as you want of these. At least I don't know of any limits that you can do. Now, if I go to my GTPs, this is what I mean. Everybody claims that there's an expert. I got things that are being used. Like we have 400 uses, 40 uses, 100 uses. So we know that these things work. And they work pretty well. So now, and the lead magnet one by far was one of the best ones I created. Now we got course ones and everything else. So we got quite a few that we work. And what we do is this also became an easy moneymaker for us because what we do is we give this as part of our templates. We're big into high level. High level is a templated software that you can leverage and use. We love it. It's our favorite software to build websites, build emails, do all the stuff that we do. And we offer with our templates where it creates the wording that goes on the templates for the websites and the funnels. So for us, it's a big money play. The second thing is, let's make believe you're out there and you're offering any kind of service. Doesn't matter what you are. Whether you're running an Airbnb, whether you're running a travel agency, whether you're running a dog grooming business or whatever it is. If I gave you like a lead magnet that's basically a bot that can answer all your dog grooming questions, that people will have to give me their name and their email, and it's becoming the all-stop shop. Or if I was running an Airbnb and I wanted you to kind of get an idea about renting or not renting or going to that area, and I gave you a bot that will literally pre-plan your itinerary and like tell you all the top spots to hit. Talk about in a crazy lead magnet that will generate you some cash. So there is literally no limit of thinking on how you want to run these things. And that's kind of the direction I want you guys all to go. I consider this my staff of agents. On the left-hand side, when I need copy written for a certain type of page, I go to the copywriter that does it. If I need a newsletter writer, as you can see, we got newsletter writers in here. I go to that particular newsletter writer. If I need a book, I go to my book copywriter. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that I need, I've now created a little army of agents that I can leverage. Now, and I got to thank Molly Mahoney. She's the one that actually introduces to daisy chaining. She taught us how to daisy chain the bots, which is literally you call one bot to finish the task. That just took this whole thing to a whole nother level, right? So let's create one. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to create a GTP. Now, again, you have to have the paid version. For all of you that are having a hard time following along, go back, watch this on double speed. I'll post it on your YouTube video. Apparently, I'm a lot funnier on slow speed and a lot more intelligent. So if you go over on the left-hand side, you're going to notice Explore GTPs. Really easy. If you have a paid version, you click on that button. When you click on that button, it's going to take you to this screen. When you go to this screen, go to the top right-hand side, you're going to hit My GTPs or you can hit Create. For the sake of just keeping this going, we're going to hit Create, and it's going to take you to this beautiful screen. Now, there are a lot of advanced cool things you can do. We are not going to go over the advanced stuff. We're going to go it so every Joe and John and Mary that wants to use this can with very limited to no knowledge of how to do this stuff. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to name our GTP. We are going to create a dog grooming website builder, right? Because that's what we just created. So why not leverage what we just created? So I'm going to do dog grooming website builder. All right, dog grooming website builder, and the description. By the way, the name and the description are only for you to see and for your customers. So if I come in here and I'm going to put website copyright, because it's not going to design your websites, at least not yet. Not yet, but I will show you something called very cool on Claude that actually designs your website. It's going to be pretty cool. I'll show you how to do that. So here's our dog grooming, right? And copywriter builder. And because I love you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my pre-made custom GTP instructions. I'll put it on the link somewhere. I'll put it on the YouTube channel so you guys can all see it. I think I can hit the share button. Copy the link. All right, I'm going to drop this in the YouTube channel. Should go everywhere. And for our VIP members, you guys are going to get it in here. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all this stuff here, the instructions, and then we're going to modify the instructions that I have. And I'm going to tell you what I have here. Remember what I told you about, right? Role, task, focus, let's think of its specifics, the instructions of exactly the way I want things to be, and how I want the page designed. Now, here's a cool little caveat that I'll tell you about this that I think is going to be, hopefully it'll be a little bit different than what you're hearing out there. Now, the cool thing about all this is if I give a very specific instructions of where I want the words to be, I can now replicate this and make it very easy for the person who's learning this or who's trying to build a website knows exactly where it is. So for instance, real easy. Everybody knows what a headline is. It's the first thing you see on the page. The subheadline is really the thing after it. The benefits are usually the 3 or 4 little bullet points that come right after an image or some kind of video. And then the last is a call to action of what you want them to do. Sign up for my page, buy my service, do whatever it is. Because I give it the breakdown of the specific instructions of where I want it to be, it's easier for me to teach the person that is learning this versus anything else. So all I'm like literally going to do is I'm going to copy those instructions and I'm going to come over here. I'm going to drop it right in here. That's it. Now, when I drop it right in here, unfortunately, it gets a little ugly. So I have to go in here and collect it. Here's the other thing that I've learned. The cleaner the instructions are, the less confused the bot is. Some people will argue with me back and forth that it doesn't need to do that and all that. Again, I've done it quite a few 100,000 times at this point. Whenever I do this and I have it numbered in the order that I want it to do, it will give me a better result. Now, again, this is the bot instructions on your custom GTPs. You could still take that shortcut in the way that you have it here. But if I do it this way, I have a bit of a better result. All right, so I'm going to go number 1, confidentially warning, do not share my files, because again, I might want to have this where I'm giving this to people and I'm selling it, or I'm selling access to it, or it's acting as my lead magnet so I can get additional leads. I want it to be confidential. Now, does this prevent people from really hijacking your bot? Not really, but better than not having anything, in my opinion, right? The bot role. Bot instructions. Your task is to guide users in brainstorming business offers, starting with walking them through 5 set of critical questions that will help ship their offer. This should be done sequentially, addressing one question at a time. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because now, what if, let's say, my friend, like Kevin, right, has a dog grooming shop. His doesn't have a one and whatever offer, and his dog grooming shop is called Many Paws. Mine is called, Click Paws. And I have different offers, I have different locations and everything else. So I have to design a bot that is going to address other people. So in order for me to do that is I have to give it very clear instructions of what it's going to do first. Now, in my experience, if you're putting this bot to anybody else out there, like you're giving this as users or you're creating this even for yourself, you might skip all the directions because it's going to be very clear. I'm going to give you a link. I want you to write the copy. But if you're putting this out to the public where you want people to do things, like for instance, Marla, right, has a great place that she's renting out. If she's renting out this place, but she wants to give people a bonus, hey, please access my bot. It will help plan your itinerary when you visit the beach in Santa Monica, whatever it is. Now, if I give that to my customers as an additional bonus, and I got to ask some questions, right? What if it's like a 70-year-old person and I'm like, oh, you could go surfing, or like, hey, not knocking 70-year-old people can surf, but that might not be in the top of the list of a 70-year-old person. Maybe it's like what kind of food you're like. Maybe they're allergic to like fish and we're giving them fish ideas. So we want to be very clear in the type of questions that we're going to ask. So the bot role needs to be specific to the example that they're going to go through in all of this, right? So bot role, example instructions. Your task is guide users in brainstorming, offer, and website copy ideas. Website copy offers and ideas, okay? I'm just modifying what I wrote. All right, and you can do the same thing. Start walking them through the set of 5 critical questions that will help them shape their offers. This should be done sequentially, addressing one at a time. Okay, focus on questions. That's the third step. First, it's going to ask, it understands that it's going to create website copy, but it also needs an offer. If you're doing any kind of local anything, or you're selling anything or service or a lead magnet, there has to be kind of an offer. Why am I going to click the thing? Why am I going to buy the thing? Why am I going to go to the thing? So you have to kind of brainstorm into that, right? So focus on questions. Examples. The questions should concentrate on defining a target audience, understanding the specific product that the product solves, challenging prevailing wisdom, identifying how the proposed solution is unique, addressing potential objections, recognizing the obstacles, and detailing the nurture of the offer, right? So question number 1. These are the questions that I believe I should ask. Now, all of a sudden, people are like, crap, I'm not that smart. Nuno's not, I'm definitely not that smart. I don't know what kind of questions I got to ask. Well, guess what? You got an awesome bot that can help you do that, right? So I come over here. I'm going to duplicate my tab. By the way, I just showed you $1 million tip, how to duplicate tabs. It saved our lives. Literally, my partner and I rant about this thing. Like, it's how we run our business. I'm going to go to a plain chat GTP, right? And guess what I'm going to do? I am writing a bot. I am writing bot instructions to create a bot that will create the copywriting, that will create the copy for a website dog grooming business. I need it to ask 5 critical questions to get the best direct response copy for the site. I need it to ask 5 critical questions of the users. I want to be clear on that. Best direct. Okay, to get the best direct copy for the site, and then I'm going to put something like, please make the questions easy to understand. All right, totally, completely misspelled. Blah blah blah. Look at that. It's got my questions. So now I don't even have to think that hard. Like, I just come in. Okay, got my question number 1 here. Copy. Question number 1. Right? Copy. Question number 2. Okay, copy. Question number 3. And you can do 20 questions. It doesn't matter. The point of the matter is that I'm trying to make this so super easy for you guys that it's a no-brainer. All right. Now that it asks these questions, we're on step 4. And then remember, now create the headline. Create the following and make sure to label each section. And I'll tell you why I do that, right? Subheadline, example, boom, 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 and call to action doesn't need its own thing. All right, now, boom. Number 5, assemble the landing page. Okay, which I kind of should have just done this. So now create the following. We can actually leave this blank. Sorry, I totally forgot that I had this on the other side. Now create the landing page copy, right? And we're going to do that. Now that I have this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, your task is to brainstorm business and website copy offers and ideas for a dog grooming business. See, now I want to go back and just get a little specific. Business. Start by asking 5 critical steps, blah, blah, blah. The questions to be, now we're good. All right, now I'm going to hit close. Now I got my instructions. I'm ready to go. Conversation starter is the first button. Honestly, I do ready to start. What is your first question? And the reason I do that is because like that, it makes it interactive where the client has to hit the button. Ready to start? And I'll say, ready to start, click here. Ready to start. What do I do first? Again, make it super simple and easy. Now, here's where it gets really cool. And now, again, you can do this. If I had a bunch of examples or I wanted to really add additional files and folders that they could check, maybe there's some writing examples or anything else, I could just upload like up to 10 files. So it could read those files and use it as examples, which will make the bot a little smarter. Obviously, we're not going to do that now because we want to make it super easy, but just understand that. I want web browsing, I want DALL-E image creation, and I want to do the code interpreter and Dallas analysis. I'm going to turn all this on. Create new action is for advanced users that want to connect code and other programs. Way too complicated for the beginner user to figure out on their own. But again, if you're a coder, hats off to you. You have an advantage that a lot of people won't. So I'm going to leave that open. Again, name, description. I wrote the instructions. I gave everybody an example. You guys should see it on the YouTube channel. Go in there, download it, and have fun with it. And then I just took the basic instructions, really super basic, put them all in there, adjusted them to be very specific about the dog grooming. I put a conversation starter because I want a box right here. And by the way, what we're doing on the left is building on the right, just so everybody understands. We're building the bot literally on the right that we can start testing. And then the last thing is, if I wanted to upload files to support the bot, meaning examples of websites that I love and all this other stuff, it will read PDFs and it will read Word docs. So you can upload those files to make it super easy for you. Then the capabilities, I check off web browsing, DALL-E, and code interpreter. And because I want to be super fancy, I'm not done yet. Now I scroll all the way up to the top. I hit the plus and I can upload my own photo, but I'm going to use DALL-E. And based on the information it provided, it's automatically going to create a small little image, which I want so I can help identify what I'm looking at on the left-hand side to bake it. Look, see, it's a weird dog with a little haircut grooming thing. Perfect. More than enough for what I need. Now, here's where the other cool part comes in. You're going to come over to the right-hand side and you're going to hit create. It's going to immediately ask you, how do you want to do it? You can put it to the ChatGPT store. Just understand if you put it to the ChatGPT store, you will be responsible for customer service on this thing. And honestly, I like giving it only to my customers and I want to put it in a lead magnet. So I want to limit to only people that have a link. Now, if it's my personal bot and I'm only going to be using it, I select only me. But because I want to give this bot away to people that maybe have dog grooming businesses, I can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to do anyone with the link and I'm going to hit save. Boom. Now watch this. We are now officially, if I hit view GTP, right? Don't make me a liar. View GTP. Okay, there we go. All right. Now, here's the understanding before we go into making this bot work, and I'm going to show you how easy this is. If you want to daisy chain your bots, meaning you want to take it from one bot to another, to another, to another, the bots have to be pinned, especially if it's not your bot. So if you come in here, there's a pin option. I don't have it because it's my bot, but if you were doing this and you were collecting this bot for yourself or you're using other bots, you will come in here and you will basically go in there and you will pin your bot that you are getting out of it. You have to have a pin in order to call it. Because if you don't have a pin, you're not going to be able to call it as we get advanced. Right. Now let's see this thing in action, right? I'm going to come in here. But again, in order for you to use the daisy chaining option in this, you have to make sure you pin it. It's on the sidebar. If it's not on the sidebar, you are not going to be able to call it. All right. So now that we got this going, let's rock and roll. I'm going to come in here. What do I do first? It's going to ask my first question. Right. Now I'm going to cheat again. I'm going to say, remember when we came up with the other bot and it helped come up with the questions? I'm going to say, can you give me sample answers to these questions? All right, boom. I'm going to get the answers from the bot to make my life easy on this example, right? So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to copy the first answer. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to send it. It's responding to my answer to that question. Now it's going to take my second question, right? I'm going to use the example again here. Just because We're running out of time, and I want to show you the daisy chaining thing. Boom. Come over here. Question number 3. Okay. Question number 4. And all I'm doing, guys, for anybody that caught it, and anybody that's asking where the live stream is, the live stream is inside YouTube. YouTube, there's usually a chat if you're watching it live on the right-hand side, and you'll be able to get the doc. We'll also put it in the comments later. At least Mary, my wonderful and incredible operations manager, is doing that at some point. And last question. Now, here's why this is cool. Ready? Now, I answered my last question. Yours is going to be pretty crazy. I'm dropping this in there like crazy. Look at this. Boom. Headline, subheadline, benefit 1, benefit 2, benefit 3, and a call to action. Regardless of your skill set level on website copy and design, you can easily identify where these things are going to go. This is why I label mine. Now, remember, I don't have I won't have enough time to create another bot that's going to do all the emails, right? However, I have one already pre-created. So what I'm going to do is, I want you to watch this very carefully. I got my answer here, right? I can go back and forth and be like, oh, this isn't funny enough. This is just the way I showed you with the first bot. But now I have this dog bot that's now going to, this dog grooming bot that's going to do all of this for me. I'm good. I now can access this every time I have to do like a dog grooming website. And if dog grooming websites have very specific things, I can just add those things in my instructions. So now all I have to do is go on the left, find my dog grooming bot, and I'm ready to rock and roll. It asks me the 5 questions and I'm ready to go. But here's where the daisy chaining comes in, right? Because I have all these different bots that do all these crazy different things, I'm going to hit the @ symbol, and it's now search recent and pin GPTs. So now let me go to my email copywriter, which I have in here somewhere. Local business emails and automations. Ready? You see how I have it right there? All I got to do is just hit the @ symbol. I hit the connect. And now you see it's up here. It is now calling that bot. Now, because I have all the information, if I went to that bot by itself, I would have to like 5 questions again. What's the website? Do all this other stuff. Man, because I already have that bot all written up and it's already set to go, I'm going to come in here and just go write my emails and automations. Watch this. Hit enter. It's calling the bot based on the information you provided. I didn't provide any information. It's now writing my confirmation text. It's now writing my appointment text. It's just going to go. I don't even know how long the sequence is. Long-term nurture sequences. Look at this. It's doing it all for me, so I don't have to do any of this. You see what I'm saying? This is what makes it different. This probably, I would say, is for the practical user that's trying to run a business. Think about it, any service, right? Like I mentioned, like, people running Airbnbs. You'll have maybe a set, if you're good, like great, you might have like 7 or 8 properties. You can have a bot for each property that will be very specific to help you write emails, promotions, festivals, like all this kind of crazy things. And you can see it's just going. I'm like literally not doing anything. It's literally writing my nurture sequence, my confirmation sequence, because I have this pre-programmed bot that does all this. Look, follow-up sequence day 1, 2, and 3 if they don't show up for an appointment or if they weren't sure. And I can make it even more compelling if I have it here now. But notice that it's doing all this stuff that is going to make the purpose entirely easy. And I can hit continue generating and it'll keep on going. And then now if I wanted to write ads, I'll daisy chain the ads bot or somebody's ad bot. Maybe somebody created a brilliant ads bot. My friends who are in Genesis, Luke and Mario, are brilliant at are creating some incredible prompts. And they have these crazy prompts that you got to go through them, that they write like the most craziest of all things. You daisy chain their bots to write your Facebook ads, and it gives you different types of ads that you can write. You don't like the copy. Maybe you want to have it where it's like a value or more sentiment based. Maybe you have like the really sensitive copywriter. You know what I'm saying? That's what's crazy about it. You're writing a newsletter and you want to write it in columns. You could create your 5 people here, give them all faces on the left-hand side, and you got, and I think our friend JoJo, we were doing with this with her. She has Alex, the very serious 47-year-old man who only reads the Wall Street Journal, and he's one of the person. The second one is like Mary, who's a little bit like, she's very flowery, loves hanging around coffee shops, and is more of a free writer. And then it's one bot after the other, and they're all writing the articles. And in your instructions, you can say, you are a team of bots. And in this, you will be writing different sections of your newspaper. You will see what other people wrote. Please go off of whatever other people wrote in the instructions. And when you daisy chain them, it automatically catches it. So that's what I want to make sure you guys can understand that. It's really, really, really super simple to do this. And if you guys take the template instructions that I have and just keep modifying those, you literally can go absolutely bananas in all of this. And what's cool is I just showed you one AI. Claude, there's different applications and things you can do with Claude. There's different things you can do with Gemini. I have subscriptions to all 3. It's probably insane, but it's really easy to do them. I use ChatGPT for agents and all the work, as you can see. Look, not being funny, I used this recently. I gave this to my wife. We bought a house in Portugal, for some of you that are following us on social media and all that. And we absolutely love it. My wife does not speak a word of English, and we had to quickly translate bills and letters from the town because we bought a property there. And like I couldn't do it all by myself, so she was kind of stuck. So I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? Well, I created a bot that I literally can upload documents and immediately translate, and it writes the responses automatically. That all my wife has to do on her phone is copy and paste. You guys want to see the instructions for that? Look, it's literally this. I come in here and I have to be very specific. Look, notice the format, right, guys? Notice the format. It's the same format, and I used a bot to help me write this. Because again, there's some, for anybody that doesn't know Portuguese, there's Brazilian Portuguese, there's regular Portuguese. Continental Portuguese is different than Brazilian Portuguese, and the words were getting messed up. So I literally had to go in there, and I literally said, you will get a document or you will get something in Portuguese. Please translate it to English. If you get something in English, please translate it to Portuguese. It's literally instructions. Talk about the coolest translation bot I've ever made in my life. This thing, and you have it on your phone. For all of you that don't know, ready? Secret tip number 4007, right? If you come in here and you click on and get ChatGPT, it has voice. It has voice. It will speak in Portuguese or whatever language that I want directly in here. So if you go to ChatGPT, this is literally how we've been like translating articles. And even though I'm Portuguese, I'm like the worst Portuguese ever. I speak pretty crappy, and on top of it, I can't read or write. So I struggle quite a bit. If you literally put the mic in and you start voicing what you want, it will automatically translate it to Portuguese. So instead of buying like these translator apps and everything else, and what was really cool, how wild is this? In your app, if you photograph and tells it to translate the document, it does it because it reads photographs. Like mind blown, like absolutely mind blown. You're lazy and you're like, and what's cool is all the bots you create will show up. I don't know if you guys can see it. Will show up on the left-hand side. So all my little bots here are on the left-hand side. So I'm on the road. Hey, all of a sudden Andy calls me up. He's like, hey man, I need copy for like a website quick. I'm like, answer these 5 questions real quick. And I'm like hand typing on the phone, boom, copy and paste. And I send it right to him. Ladies and gentlemen, next level crap right here. So you can build bots that do things for you personally, like my Portuguese translator that my wife and I share, and unlimited access at any point in times. This is like crazy, crazy stuff that can actually happen in here. And then again, you save the bots that you want. It takes photos, it takes voice, and it will actually read out. If you put headphone mode on, hey, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. How about you?
How do you say cat in Portuguese?
In Portuguese, cat is gato for a male cat and gata for a female cat.
What? Like, like what? I'm going to Japan. This is going to be amazing. Like, I'm so excited about it. But you see how cool this is? But imagine doing this at the higher level for yourself. You can literally make an army of agents that are consistently doing stuff for you to reduce your workload so you can live the life that you want, right? For anybody that's been following us along, we've been so heavily focused on the 5 streams of income that anybody can do regardless of the business that they're in. We're talking about a newsletter. We're talking about coaching and consulting. We're talking about, getting an offer out there like a course. All these different things or streams you can do using AI to literally going off and, like completely going into a whole nother, plane of this. And if you have the army, like I'm mentioning before, and you can access it literally on your phone, you can be in the bathroom and be creating stuff and be ready to rock and roll. And I need to make sure that you guys understand this. And again, does not matter the business you're in. I can guarantee you that it really does help you to be just a better business owner, a better marketer, a better planner, even for lifestyle. We plan so we're planning to Airbnb, and everything that I told you about Airbnb is what we're going to do for our clients. A client will literally book book our villa, right? When they book our
It
villa,
sounds like you're really enthusiastic about leveraging AI.
it's been listening all along. That's so funny. I am enthusiastic because this is like life changing. So we are planning to go from there, and we are going to give them access to this spot that's going to basically help them plan their itinerary, help them with getting around things that they need. And we're going to give them like another worldly experience because I can do that for them. You know what I'm saying? And we're also going to give them the ChatGPT translator that they can put on their phone that they can carry wherever they go. And then they can access the bot. And now it accesses the translation service. Tell me what other Airbnb places are doing that. Like insane, right? Right. So if you really think outside the box, it's something really cool that you can do. But that's kind of it. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, as you can tell, I'm extremely passionate about this stuff because it is super easy to do. Everybody can take advantage of it. And if you guys do this, it's literally like next level. Like you will definitely make your life a little bit easier. All right. So for everybody that's in our VIP group, stick around. I'm going to show you guys some other cool shit. And yeah, I just cursed. Oh, I've got to bleep that out, Mary. and then for everybody follow along. If you're interested in our VIP group, Mary is going to put the link inside. Join us. We would love to have you. This is the kind of stuff we go over, and we have workshops every other Friday or every Friday, as long as our schedules are good. We'll be showing you other stuff. The next workshop is going to be on Claude and the cool things you can do with Claude and how that has its own kind of functionality. But we'll see you in the next one. All right. So build some bots, and we'll see you then.